Am I live? All right, guys. Welcome, millions of viewers, to the first edition of the
Soon come.
I know we've got millions of viewers out there. So yeah, welcome and thanks for tuning in. We're a new channel, so please support the cause. Subscribe to the channel on YouTube. Follow my Twitter page. You can find that all in the description. We've got 6 members of the pod today. I was going to do intros, but I thought, look, there's so much action over the weekend. Let's just get straight into it. So first topic to cover, guys, is the Canelo GGG fight. Obviously, it was quite a controversial affair to some. So yeah, let's just get straight into it. So Idris, firstly, what's your thoughts on the fight, man? How did you see the fight? What were your views in terms of the cards and what's your opinion?
Let me quickly say something about the card. That 118, 110 card, ridiculous. It's stupid. So let's just throw that one out there. That was dumb. But as you guys all know, as I said weeks ago, up until last night before the fight, the way I saw the fight going is exactly how the fight went. Obviously, people have their different opinions in terms of who they thought won. I do think Canelo won. I thought his box. I thought his boxing was a lot crisper, cleaner. He was in and out anytime, every single time they were in the middle of the ring exchanging. Canelo won those exchanges, hands down. And I will what's it called? Ask anyone to tell me different after watching the fight again. After watching the fight again, anytime they stood in the middle of the ring, who won those exchanges? And then when they got
how many times when you have to go?
They were in the middle of the ring enough for Canelo to steal enough rounds. However, through the middle of the fight, as we all predicted, the aggressor was always going to be Triple G. And anytime he got Canelo on the ropes, he threw a lot more punches. But a lot of those punches didn't land. And again, tell me, guys, how many of his punches got through and hurt Canelo? How many clean punches did he get through?
That's my argument.
How many of his clean punches did he actually get through? And how many of Canelo's punches got through? How many clean punches did he hit Triple G with? And at the end of the day, I said this to Jason earlier, is, we've been watching Mayweather for years fight that same fight, not getting hit as much. I'll give that. Not getting hit as much. But Canelo fought the perfect boxing. He fought a perfect boxing fight against an undefeated fighter who everyone considers a killer, and people have been ducking. And this is the man that says, I was never ducking him. I was always ready to fight him. And he showed me he had a much higher boxing IQ. He had variations. He showed different looks. He was in and out. And the one thing I will always say is, and Mayweather always said, it was making adjustments, making adjustments within the fight. Ask yourself a question. Every time Canelo was on the ropes, he done the same thing to get out of that situation. Triple G didn't adjust and hit him with that right hand. He couldn't. That's boxing skill. That's boxing IQ. He knows every time he's going to his left, my sweep punch is my right hand. He should walk right onto one of my right hands. He did not. He was able to catch him once that I remember clean.
They told him that
in the whole fight. Exactly. And he couldn't make that. And he couldn't make that adjustment. From a boxing, and I put this in the group earlier on one of our voice notes, was what's it called? If you're a professor and you have and you're teaching and fighting as a professor at a university, you've got MMA as the all-round skilled, and one of your other modules is boxing. Who would have passed your boxing course last night? Triple G or Canelo? Who boxed? Who won the boxing match? Who won the boxing match? And that's what it comes down to for me. I believe Canelo won the boxing match much more easier than a lot of people thought he would. It was just Triple G's aggression coming forward consistently that had people fooled. Oh yeah, he was.
Can aggression win you a boxing match like that?
No,
that's what I'm hearing, and that's what I've seen. I've seen he's cut down the ring a lot. He's hit the gloves a lot. But
exactly.
There's no clean punches there. If we're looking at boxing, Canelo's taken that, surely.
The thing is, though...
Yeah, on boxing, yeah. But I feel like Triple G was more consistent throughout the whole fight. He never dropped his work rate.
Okay, let me ask... Okay, let me say one thing. Let me just finish off this, yeah? Me and my girlfriend, watched the fight again this morning. And She doesn't know anything about boxing. She watched the McGregor fight. She's not into boxing and all that. But as she was watching the fight, she goes, "Oh, that guy keeps getting hit. He keeps following him and he keeps getting hit." She's just watching it. She's watching it as someone who doesn't know anything about boxing. And she's going, "Oh, that guy keeps coming forward. He keeps getting hit. Why does he keep coming forward and getting hit?" And this is someone who's just watching the fight as a novice. Do you understand? Her opinion. Her opinion.
You were swaying her. Don't try. You were swaying her. Yeah. Let me add one or two pence in. Yeah. All right.
Go on.
You guys make me sick. Yeah. You guys make me... Anyone who's listening right now, let me tell you this from now. These are coming from very biased opinions. Yeah, very biased. Okay. All right. All now, I understand where you're coming from in terms of Canelo was more accurate. He was the more skillful boxer. Yes. Now, the reason why he was going on the ropes and walking around the place, it wasn't his boxing IQ. The guy was lazy.
Okay.
Yeah, he was lazy. Don't get me wrong. He was doing. Yeah, Canelo. He gassed up about around 5'6".
Yeah, he was
5'6",
tired.
7". He was tired.
Not lazy, but he was still boxing.
No.
He wasn't boxing, bro.
Chris,
And to add to that, yeah. Now, you're talking about when they're in the ring. Don't ever get it twisted. Yes, when they were actually fighting, I even saw this. Canelo was the more skillful.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
I actually believe he actually had the more power as well. Yeah, but the work rate was not there. Now, if he put that work rate in, yeah, he would have dominated the fight more, and then I would have said yes.
Yeah.
Okay, he deserved to win that fight. But if you're coming from the perspective seeing that fight, and you're saying he actually won that, that's why I disagree. Because what was Triple G doing? He was cutting off the ring. He wasn't even giving him power shots, you know. And that's
can I ask a question on that? So you said Triple G was cutting off the ring, but one thing I noticed yesterday, he wasn't able to cut off the ring effectively. Like normally, when you see Triple G against his opponents, once he gets them on the ropes or he gets them cornered, he's able to put effective pressure on them, break them down to the body, go to the head, and basically knock them out. But
he was very cautious. He was very cautious.
Exactly.
Yeah,
he was very cautious.
He was aware of his power. He was aware of his power. Like
he respected Canelo in that fight.
Yeah.
And one thing I don't think Canelo respected him. I don't think.
Okay.
How are you jogging around the ring? How are you jogging around the ring? How are you putting man in the headlock and then punching him from behind the back? Maybe it's a psychological game, but he respected Canelo, which I think he shouldn't have done in that fight.
Do you think he gave?
You know what I'm saying.
Let's put ourselves in those shoes, Yomi. Obviously, for those who may be listening, Yomi has actually called me out. He wants to have a boxing match with me. Yeah,
it's happening. I buy your tickets, guys.
So let me put it to you. If we were both in that ring last night and I was Canelo and you were Triple G and you kept on coming forward like that and throwing all those punches and not actually hitting me, and I'm hitting you in the face, I'm skilling you up, you're missing wildly. Do you know how many times, look at the fight again, do you know how many times Triple G missed with that right hand and Canelo looked at the rope where he missed and going, what are you doing, bro?
That's where the intelligence is. That's the way the intelligence is. Because obviously he knows the referee's watching. So if he does that, obviously it's going to try to sway their decision. Do you get what I'm saying?
But he can only do that if a man is missing. It's not like he got hit and he looked at the rope. He was missing a lot. He was hitting.
Bro, did you see the scorecard? Did you see the scorecard of the judges?
Yeah.
We talked about
this.
Did
you see how many times he hit?
The 118 was ridiculous. Yeah.
Yeah.
But when you're getting hit clean, flush, and you got to remember, a lot of Triple G's, I think it was like 60 or 70% of these actual landed punches were jabs. They were jabs to try set up a big punch. He wasn't actually hurting Canelo. He wasn't doing anything that was effective to win a fight.
He was missing a lot.
We're talking about
but to be honest, a good boxer, he is gonna have the jab there because the jab is very effective. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
Yes, but
I think
if you throw, but head this, if you throw, was it over 500 punches he threw? Was it
Around
over 500 punches? That Triple G threw. Was it over 500 punches? Yeah.
I would have to look back
How
on
many
it.
punches? Yeah,
I
he
know
threw
Canelo,
what 200.
did that a better percentage, but
Yeah, so if he threw 200 more punches than Canelo, yeah. So yeah, he was the aggressor. He was the one pushing the fight more. But all Canelo was after the fight, he was like, this guy didn't do anything. I didn't have to do overreach myself. I didn't have to put myself in a situation where I was desperate and I had to throw a million punches around. Triple G was getting hit so much, he was throwing punches just to make up for what he was getting hit with.
I understand where you're coming from. I understand where you're coming from, and you know Triple G. Like we've seen the fights that he's been in. Like his defense is near enough nothing. You get what I'm saying?
It's rubbish.
You know what I mean?
He's fighting.
But
like
the reality is,
he's coming forward like he's Rocky. It's like Rocky against Apollo Creed. I mean, that's what it was like.
and the reason, and let me just put this one out there. The reason why I will never, after watching last night, the reason why I'll never rate Triple G the way I have rated a Mayweather over the years, and I think a lot of us will agree that Mayweather is one of the best to ever do it. But
yeah, I believe that.
In his post-fight interview, he was talking about, I have a Mexican style. I like coming forward. I want a real fight.
Yeah, that's bullshit,
bro. Forget that I want a real fight. Remember, you're a boxer. The aim is to hit and not get hit. In his mind, and maybe it's because he got hit a lot when he was young, fighting big men. But he seems to have forgotten that the way you win a fight, truly win a fight, is hitting your opponent and not getting hit.
No.
He gets hit so much, and it doesn't matter who he's fighting. He can fight like no-name opponents, and he will get hit a lot, but he will just knock them out. So people forget about. I will bet, and I will try to do my due diligence and try to look this up. I will bet you any money. Anytime he fights a guy and it goes maybe 6-7 rounds, he's probably lost 2 or 3 rounds every time. But he's so powerful, he gets you out of there. So it doesn't even matter about the scorecard.
That's what happened. So that's what happened against Kell Brook, innit? So he lost about
exactly
2 out of 5 rounds.
He was losing. Was it? He was losing 3-1. He was losing.
Do you know what I noticed about Triple G? Yeah, it's when someone actually puts the pressure on him, then he counteracts it, and then he puts the pressure on them.
Yeah.
If he's back on his fights, that's what he actually does. Now, I'm not gonna try to divert from what the actual topic is, but what I want to ask you guys is, if you were so convinced that Canelo won, how are you gonna settle for it to be a draw?
Listen, me and Jason discussed this. Yeah, I said I will not disagree with anyone that thinks Triple G won because I thought it was a very close fight. I think I had it 115, 113. Jason maybe had it something similar. Other people had it 115, 114 to Triple G. I will not disagree in terms of, because people were looking for the aggression part of things, him coming forward, him getting hit a lot and throwing a lot of punches. I'm not looking for that. Maybe I'm biased in the sense, and I agree with you saying I'm coming from a biased point of view, but I enjoyed some of Mayweather's craft in the ring. Was he was making guys miss a lot, and he was just pot shotting them, just hitting them with 1 or 2 great shots within a round to steal rounds. Yeah, and maybe that's why I've gone with Canelo in this, because he hit Triple G a lot and didn't get hit that much cleanly. Do you know what I mean? And that's what I was looking for. I don't need you to be aggressive. I need you to be effective.
Yeah,
and that's what it came down to for me.
One thing, Idris, like, just to add on that. So what I was noticing with GGG yesterday, like, he came into the fight as the killer, right? Everyone was saying he was a KO artist. He was a big puncher in there. And pretty much when he lands, it's over. But if you look at the work Canelo done yesterday, just to negate that, like, he basically neutralized his whole offense. That right hand, that lead right hand that Golovkin was throwing all night, he probably hit Canelo once. Like, Canelo done all the good work, all the combination work. He was using lateral movement. He was giving him different looks. He basically put a clinic on him. The only criticism I have with Canelo is that maybe in the middle rounds, he kind of should have upped his work rate. But the cuter work, the more efficient work, the more effective work, the more eye-catching work was Canelo. To me, he won that fight easy. The only thing I said to Idris post-fight was that if people wanted to argue that GGG won the fight, or, you know, hands up, you can take that. But at the end of the day, like when you talk about boxing and the art of hitting and not getting hit, Canelo schooled this boy. Like you can see.
Nah, let's get. Yeah, Jay, don't get it twisted. When I hear you spitting your boxing lingo, I love it. I love it. Yeah, but I don't agree with you on this one, bro. I really don't. Because at the end of the day, let's be real, yeah. Boxing's a business at the end of the day, yeah. Now, obviously, we saw the result. The women's result, what she had out there was crazy. Now, they had one that was favoring Triple G and one that was favoring Canelo. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, maybe it was just planned. Maybe. Who knows? We know there's a lot of politics in boxing at the end of the day. Now,
I hear what you're saying. I
was disappointed. I was kind of disappointed in the fight. Yeah, the reason why I was disappointed is because I thought Canelo would have brought more. Because I know. No, seriously. I would have. I thought he would have brought more because I've seen his past fights.
He won. What do you mean he would have brought more?
Wait. Before. Okay. What do you mean he brought more? What more would you want him to do?
You would have applied more pressure to Triple G.
Let me tell you something. He's a human being. He's gonna, if he throws that many punches, yeah, he's gonna gas out. He's gonna get tired. If he is that technical, he's going to be, you know. We always talk about boxers get their second wind. I think I gave him Canelo round 11 and round 12 quite comfortably. Yeah. I think round 10, round 9 and 10, I gave it kind of even. But round 9 and 10 is kind of when he came back into the fight again. Yeah. I say from around 5 to 9. He was kind of off the gas, and I gave Triple G those middle rounds. But I definitely gave Canelo the first 4 rounds, or let's say the third round was. You gone?
Yeah, I gave Canelo the first. I'd say not the first one. I'll say 2 and 3, definitely 100%. 1, I'm a bit skeptical.
Canelo did not win. Canelo did not win the first round. Definitely not.
No, he definitely won that first round.
1.
Look, guys, I've even put the stats up here. Canelo landed 10 punches. Golovkin landed 15 punches in the first round. It was very clear that it wasn't a tight one.
Yeah, but the good punches, the good work, that was Canelo.
But they said landed.
Yeah.
Guys, the stats are right there.
If landed, it's landed,
right
isn't it?
there in front of you guys.
Yeah,
that's landed, bro.
Landed. Where's that? Did you put that in a group? Where did you put those stats up?
No, the stats were something like Golovkin threw 700 punches and landed like 200. And Golovkin,
218, yeah.
Yeah, and then Canelo threw 500 and landed
and landed 169, right?
Yeah, so he had a much higher percentage rate of connection, but like the better work just came from Canelo. Like this is boxing. Like Golovkin was getting tagged.
But Jason, you just said the most vital thing. You know, the proof is in the pudding. The proof is there. The proof is there, bro.
Yum. Remember, you can get hit on the shoulder, and that will count as a landed punch.
That's what I'm saying. The effective,
like, think of it this. Mayweather's got the best punch, the best hit and not get hit percentage in boxing history. Yeah, but a lot of the majority of punches he gets hit with have been like on the shoulders and arms. Yeah. They count as landed punches. That don't count as nothing. It doesn't count from my perspective. I'm watching the fight.
But it's landed. Just remember, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if it's in the head. It doesn't matter if it's in the chest. If it's in the bum, it lands. Do you get what I'm saying?
Bro, you know a bum punch is illegal, so let's not even talk about that. Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about, man, yeah.
I don't know. I'm talking about that.
So what happens next, guys? In terms of
Triple G Canelo rematch, Canelo wins it far easier. Wins 118-110.
Yes.
I think she just done the scorecard for the rematch. I think that's what it was.
You say she's a Meg, yeah?
She's done the scorecard for the rematch. 118-110. That's what it will be the next time they fight. Easy work.
I think I think for the next fight, I think if Canelo fixes up, I think he would. I think he would win the next one. I think he would.
If he just stands in the middle of the ring with GGG, I think he's gonna take him down. I think he's gonna win by knockout as well.
Yeah,
not by knockout.
That's a bit tricky. That's a bit tricky.
You're getting a bit too ambitious there.
So he outboxed him so clinically in that middle. Anytime they stood in the middle, in my head I was thinking, is this really Triple G?
Yeah, I know.
Triple G just getting. It's just.
But we've seen that. We saw that with Kell Brook.
Yeah, he does the same thing. He goes forward.
You know
he's not very defensive when he's attacking because he's got so much power,
it's
like natural raw power. He doesn't have to be as efficient as his opponents. You know what I mean? Apart from this occasion, innit?
Let's quickly talk about Abel Sanchez, Triple G's trainer. You know, because I've watched so much of Triple G's fight, and especially to the build up of this, I've looked back on a lot of his fights. He hasn't progressed as a fighter.
No, he hasn't.
He hasn't.
He
has not. Like, and you guys, and I will say, go watch his fight from like 3-4 years ago. He hasn't progressed.
No,
he's just done the same thing over and over.
Okay, but have you ever heard of that saying? If it's a broken, don't fix it. Don't fix it.
Well, it was broken last night. It was broken last night, and he needs to fix it.
He's still got a draw with that brokenness, though. That's a word.
If it works,
he didn't get his. What I will say is that the one thing I will say about Mayweather is, okay, he had the hand problem, so he had to adapt his style because of that. But he, even being as great as he was, adapted. And you even saw fight to fights how he would employ different sort of tactics in order to get the result. Someone like Triple G should have been smart enough, intelligent enough, being the older man, should have been, this guy is a world champion, he's a very good fighter. I'm going to have the wits about him. Let me surprise him and have different tactics. Have something up my sleeve. Or shall I say something up my glove.
But that's the thing about Golovkin. He doesn't seem to be a versatile fighter. Like, he can only fight one way, come forward in straight lines. Like, the guy didn't even have head movement yesterday. That was
rubbish. It's rubbish.
Like, where was the head movement like?
That's actually, I agree with that. I agree with that.
But that's like saying, Say, Toby, what did you say, Samuel?
No, I was just saying I agree with that one. To be fair, like, he was literally, he's not very defensive in it. He takes the shots and So.
But that's like saying Anthony Joshua. He has no head movement and he's stuck in the mud. But he still wins. He still wins fights.
Stop. Anthony Joshua has improved. Anthony Joshua has improved. You can see that.
What?
Wait, hold on. So so you man are gonna tell me that since Anthony Joshua's debut, he's not improved as a fighter. Please.
I think he's improved. I think he's improved as a fighter. Yeah.
He has improved.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. I'm not saying man's now the greatest boxer of all time. I'm just saying he's improved from day one, and you can see his development as a fighter, how he's changed, how he slips some punches, even in his Klitschko fight.
Slipped some punches.
How he slipped from punches and throwing uppercuts. Wait, how did he knock out? Wait. How did he knock out Klitschko? How did he knock Klitschko down?
Listen,
you know
my views on that Klitschko fight. Let's not go there.
Yeah, let's not go there. No, we can go there because we're going to talk about AJ at some point. But all I'm saying is that Triple G hasn't improved as a fighter as I've seen over the last 4 or 5 years.
Have you seen his first fight? Have you seen his first fight?
AJ has improved. So all I'm saying is,
do you know what AJ is?
Professional boxer. Wait, stop.
Yeah.
As a professional boxer, as someone, this is all you do. You get paid to do this. Improve on it. Improve your craft. Become better at it. Be able to give other fighters a different look. And he was not able to give us something different yesterday. He gave us the same Triple G. Canelo was ready for it. And
what AJ has improved on is his punching power, his knockout power.
Come on, man.
That's what he's improved on. Don't let there be a mirage in front of you, bro. Because what he's improved on is his punching power, bro. And don't get me wrong, I think AJ is an exceptional boxer. I think he's really good in it. You know what I mean?
You don't sound like it. You don't sound like
I actually like seeing his fights. Obviously, I was Team Dylan White, but
Emmanuel, we got to let the viewers know you're Dylan White's best friend, man. It's biased.
It's not South London. We have to rate each other, innit? Support each other.
So what's our thoughts on? Okay, so you guys, let's start the conversation. AJ Pulev, what's happening?
That's easy.
AJ Pulev. He knocks him out in 10 seconds.
That's easy for AJ.
Pulev's a punching bag, man. Pulev's a punching bag, man. Like, if they might as well have flown over 2 pillows from Bulgaria and just let AJ do that and sell it in the millennium.
So you don't rate Pulev at all.
Nah,
I don't. I mean, I've looked at his stats. Yeah, he had a good fight with Derek Chisora. It went 12 rounds, and I think it was split decision.
Yeah, but
sorry, I'm not giving it.
But look at it, guys.
After Dylan White knocked out Chisora, I'm sorry.
Exactly. But
I'm not even giving that.
That went 12 rounds. Chisora went 12 rounds.
Fight.
Yeah, I like that fight.
If Chisora stepped in the ring with AJ, what would happen?
He'd get killed. I feel sorry for him.
Like, quick as
And listen,
I wouldn't watch it. I would just be hoping not to tune into Sky Sports the next day and they said that Chisora is not dead. That's what I'd be looking for. Because I'd be very worried for Chisora. He's not a good boxer.
Chisora would get killed. I think Chisora could put something on AJ.
of course he would, bro.
Oh, come on.
I think he would put something on AJ.
In what world?
No way.
No. Not
Just
even
remember-
because Chisora is a good boxer. Nothing like that. You need to get under AJ's skin. Someone like Dylan White can get under AJ's skin. Someone like Chisora can actually get under AJ's skin. All that pre-match stuff. All of that.
Wait.
That's what
Let me put it to you this way. The reason why Dylan White was able to get under AJ's skin is because they've got history. They know each other. Dylan White's actually beaten Chisora. He's beaten AJ. He can talk about that stuff. He can talk about stuff he knows about.
Yeah.
AJ is gonna look at Chisora and gonna look at his record, look at all he's fought, and think, you can say anything you want, bro. When I catch you that night, I'm gonna F you up. Because you can't.
That's cool until you get a table thrown at your head or something. And when you get
I hear what you're saying, but I hear what you're saying. But when you can beat someone up and they keep chatting, is that really gonna bother you? Is that because all I'm thinking to myself, keep chatting, but I'm going to knock you out, and it's going to be it would be even worse, and that's what I'm saying. I wouldn't want to tune into Sky Sports and them tell me that Chisora is dead when I'm telling everyone they don't put on the fight. Don't put on the fight.
but do you know? I think that's that's one thing.
Didn't Foreman think he was going to kill Ali? Didn't that happen?
Yeah.
What about all
True.
I was just about to say that's what I was about to say. Hold on. Let me say something. Yeah.
Say that again.
That's one thing I like about boxing. Yeah, you never know. Anything could happen in a split second. Someone could be fatigued, gassed, and one bang knock out.
Well, who did you compare it to? What did you say? Did you say Foreman?
Foreman versus Ali.
Foreman, Ali.
Yeah, didn't Foreman think he was going to beat Ali?
He did.
Wait, are you saying Ali is Chisora and Foreman is AJ, or are you saying? No, please explain yourself, please.
I'm not trying to say that.
No, please explain yourself.
That Ali Foreman, he said he was going to kill Ali. It was like a foregone conclusion for him. That was.
Wait! Stop with that. Remember, Ali was already a great before Foreman. Foreman was becoming a great. So we're talking about two fighters that were greats and were going to become greats. Chisora, let's be real. Chisora is not a great. He never will be a great, and we're not thinking of him as a great. So that argument in terms of Foreman and Ali, no. remember, Ali's greatest adversary was for Frazier, and rest in peace, got destroyed by Foreman, like killed. So, of course Foreman had killed every man he had fought. So, of course Foreman's going to say, I'm going to kill Ali, because Ali was an old man, but Ali was still a great. Yeah?
Yeah.
AJ, if he carries on at this rate, will probably become a great. Chisora should retire now. Chisora should retire now.
So, bringing it back onto conversation. So, how long does this AJ fight for?
So, what's that? Sorry, again?
I don't know if AJ is going to become a great. Problem with becoming a great, you have to have some great fights. That's the same with Floyd Mayweather. Like, you could say he's the best ever, you could say he's the TPE, all of that. But there's an argument he hasn't had no great fights. And yes, it may be because he's that good or there hasn't been the right opponent. But still, you need to have those good fights.
All right.
Okay, I've got two things. I've got two things to say to that. I've got two things to say to that. First of all, you said for AJ to become a great, he has to have great fights. His last fight was a great fight, so he's on the way. In terms of Mayweather was world champion. Wait. Well, Mayweather was world champion for 20 years. He fought over 20 world champions. Yeah. So whether or not he's great or not, in your opinion, okay, I'll leave that down to you. But he made everyone said that would be a good fight. Arturo Gatti would be a good fight. No, hell no. Diego Corrales, killer, undefeated. No, wasn't a good fight. Pacquiao, he waited for years. You can say he ducked him. Wasn't a good fight.
Idris, can I ask you something? Strip AJ off the power of AJ. Would he be a great fighter?
No.
A boxer?
No.
Wait, hold on.
But that's like,
Is that take it off Triple G?
Just answer the question.
Wait, take it off Triple G then.
No.
Triple G then.
No. I'm not. No, we've gone past the Triple G question. We're asking you about AJ. We're talking about AJ and
hold on.
No,
wait. Stop. I'm answering your question. Yes or no? You tell me. Yes or no? Is your power not part of your fighting attribute, not part of your boxing attribute?
Why
your natural power?
No analogies. Answer the question.
Why are you asking a question with a question? I just want a direct question.
What I'm saying, if you're stripping, I'll be honest with you. If you're stripping AJ of his power, you're stripping him of his
It's just like me saying, okay, Lemachenko with his knockout power. If you stripped Lemachenko or Canelo with off their power, put their power off, they will still be good boxers. They'll be great boxers.
Yeah, hold on.
I'm asking you.
Wait, stop. Okay. Okay. Understand one thing then. If you stripped all these guys off their power and they were great boxers, yeah, people would walk through them because they go, this guy can't hurt me. I'm going to walk through him. Ask yourself a question. Was Pauline Malignaggi not a very, very good boxer? Had no power. I just walk him down and punch him up. I'm just going to walk him down and punch him up. You're taking away an attribute that makes them great. If you're like Mayweather was great because he had power. But because of his hand problems, he had to change his style and not go for so much power punches and just box guys. He himself chose, I'm going to take away my power and just outbox guys, maneuver myself,
and that's
get
what
myself
made him great. But in his early career, he was more aggressive.
But hold on, he hit hard enough defend people off him. Yeah, Paulie Malignaggi, he wasn't as good a boxer as Mayweather, but of the last 10 years, name how many people, pure boxers, were actually better than Paulie Malignaggi. But because he had zero power, they just walked him down. I'm going to just walk right through this guy. Amir Khan, is he a better boxer than Paulie Malignaggi? No. But this guy can't hurt me, so I'm going to just walk him down.
So he's a good boxer, technically, but his power stopped him from becoming a great boxer, basically, right?
Yeah, because he couldn't hurt no one. You couldn't hurt because what puts you over the line? What puts you over the line as a great, yeah? Because if you look at every great boxer in history, they had knockout power or enough power to put people down.
Not all of them.
Go on, name me your when we done our top 5 the other day, you named knockout artists. When you named all your greats, you named knockout artists. You didn't name a person who couldn't knock someone out. You named everyone who could knock someone out.
That's my personal preference.
I will.
You know what I'm saying?
Every man in the group named guys with knockout power. No one named someone who doesn't knock someone out. Name a great boxer who... No, do it for me. Name me a great boxer without knockout power. Name me a great boxer who's a legend in the history of boxing.
But when you say knockout power, what does their what do you define as like great knockout power in terms of percentage?
No. Listen to the question. Knockout power. Being able to knock opponents out. Being able to knock opponents down.
Yeah, but it's safe to say that any boxer who's had 40 fights should be able to knock out at least 1 or 2 people in their whole career.
Like, wait, hold on. Yeah, but that 1 or 2 people isn't enough. 1 or 2 people isn't enough.
Yeah, so I'm saying you have to say what would you say is enough people percentage-wise is what I'm trying to say.
I'll say that the end result of the fight, was you had over 15 fights where you stop the fight with your punching power. So you knock them down.
No,
it was a TKO.
Percentage, because I'm looking at stats right now on the computer, innit? That's what I'm asking.
Yeah, I will say over 35%, 40%. I'll say that makes you a great, because the argument I'm trying to make for Yomi, because he was saying strip AJ of his power, would he be a good boxer? I'm then saying he wouldn't be a good boxer because every heavyweight will walk him down and punch him down. But
does AJ have skill?
But listen. Wait, listen.
Okay, but does AJ have skills?
I'm still talking. I'm going to answer your question in a minute. I'm going to try to do everything the right way, yeah? Strip AJ of his power, strip Deontay Wilder of his power, strip Klitschko of his power, strip Ali of his power, strip Tyson of his power, strip George Foreman of his power, strip Mayweather of his early year power, strip Pacquiao of his power, strip all these men, strip Hagler of his power, Hearns of his power, what's his name, Sugar Ray Leonard of his power. Every time people watch boxing, every time people name their favorite boxer, every time they name their favorite fighter, it is someone with knockout power. Tell me that Triple G is an interesting fighter apart from his knockouts. He's not an interesting fighter, but because he's knocking man out, everyone wants to see, I want to see this guy knock this guy out again. That's the reason why people become...
Jason, you're a bit quiet. What's your view?
Wait, no, because Jason is stepping back, observing, and then he's going to speak. Because I know Jason's an intelligent guy. He's probably the most intelligent guy about boxing in this group. But what I'm saying is, name me, this is what I'm saying to you, Yomi, yeah, before I answer your AJ question, because I think it's only fair. Name me a great fighter, yeah, with 35% plus, yeah, without power.
Obviously, I don't have stats now, but I'm sure.
Exactly. No.
Can I speak?
You're not hearing the question. You're not hearing the question.
Oh my!
You didn't answer the question. You didn't answer the question. You didn't answer the question. You diverted. You didn't answer the question.
You did that to me earlier, didn't you?
No. No, because I answered. You said strip him of his power, and I answered the question of stripping him of his power. I answered that. I specifically answered stripping AJ of his power.
Could you just ask me this? Does AJ have skill?
No. He doesn't have great skill. He doesn't have great skill, no.
Then
he doesn't have great skill, no.
All right.
So answer my wait. Answer. I want my questions answered though, because I don't think you diverted the question. You said you don't have the stats. You're answering the question then, because you can't think of anyone. You can't think of any. No, Ali had great knockout power. He had great knockout power.
Nah, it was more. It was more or less.
Wait, all right, check it. Toby, you're there.
Idris. Willie Pep.
Oh, that's
Willie. Yeah, but his
percentage was lower than 35%. He had 241 fights. Yeah. His knockouts was 65. I think that's lower than the 40% that you required, right?
Yeah, but listen,
because he was a skillful boxer.
Wait, hold on.
Willie Pep, he was really good.
Hold on.
You heard him, right?
Listen, you've named one, yeah? You've had to go.
Yeah, you asked for one, right?
I said, wait. I said name a great. Name a great.
He's a great.
No. Wait, before this conversation, did you know who Willie Pep was? Tell the truth.
I actually did.
No.
Real talk.
Okay, so when I was why don't you just say it straight away?
Because I didn't have the stats in front of me. Come on.
Wait, hold on. Why didn't Yomi say it then? Because he didn't know him. He didn't know this guy was a great.
You don't know me. How do you know?
So why did you say it? So I asked you a question, you didn't answer the question. I asked you a question, you didn't answer the question.
Yeah, but we've all heard of Willie Pep. That's the guy that they said had one round without throwing a punch or something like that. Something bizarre like that. It probably wasn't true, but yeah, we've all heard of him. Yeah.
We're going around in circles right now.
Yeah,
we're going around in circles.
So let's wrap it up. So AJ Pulev, just in one quick sentence, how's the fight going to go?
6-7 rounds tops.
Emmanuel?
Tops. I'm being nice to Pulev, by the way.
That's
Disagree with me, Yomi. Go on, disagree. You like doing that?
Yeah, I love disagreeing with you. Can I think about it?
Think of that.
Let me think about it, man. Yeah, let me think about it.
So what are you saying?
I'm not sure. I'm going to look at a few of his videos again. But based on him fighting Chisora and that being a good fight, up to 12 rounds, and it was like a split decision, I'm not sure. Maybe I would agree with Idris, but I'd say maybe five rounds.
Chris?
But then again, I can't make that assumption that because he had a good fight with Derek Chisora, that means AJ will beat him easily, because Derek Chisora had a good fight with White, and Dylan White had a good fight with AJ, in my opinion. You know what I mean?
All right.
So
AJ takes him out.
What's that? Sorry.
AJ takes him out.
All right. All right. Let's
Takes him out. Round,
I think 4 rounds. I think 4 rounds.
Round
4 rounds.
Round 4. He hits the floor in 4. That's it.
Okay. I reckon about 4 rounds as well. I reckon about 4 rounds. So let's move on. So there was another announcement recently. Wilder versus Ortiz signed. I believe it's November. Someone correct me. What's everyone saying about this fight? I mean, Ortiz has been waiting for years for his title shot. Is he cooked? Is he over the hill? Or do we think that he's going to take out Wilder and become the new WBC champion?
That's going to be an interesting fight, man.
Great fight.
It's going to be a very interesting fight. We all know that AJ has actually ducked Ortiz. We all know that. You know, actually, not. I wouldn't say AJ. Actually, I wouldn't say that. But yeah, it's going to be a really good fight. Very, very, very interesting.
Who do you think is going to win?
I think Ortiz is going to win, man. I think Ortiz hasn't looked great in his last few fights. Obviously, he signed with Eddie Hearn for short term. I think that deal was a terrible deal for him because he fought Malik Scott. Do you remember that fight where Malik Scott was doing laps in the ring? That was a fucking joke. That was bad matchmaking because Malik Scott just ran for the whole fight. Fair enough, Ortiz didn't really close off the ring, but yeah, it just wasn't good matchmaking from Eddie Hearn. Then he fought Dave Allen, and he's a tough one. You know, I don't think he's been matched well recently, but I think, you know, he's been waiting for this big chance forever. Wilder, for me, is vulnerable. He is vulnerable. Against Washington, he was getting caught until he knocked him out. That's the thing about Wilder. He's got game-changing power. Yeah. You know, he can change a fight in an instant, but his actual boxing fundamentals are really poor. Really poor.
It's in his surname, isn't it? He's wild, I guess.
Wild. Yeah, he's wild. And I think Ortiz is the kind of guy who's got the boxing fundamentals. You know, he can behind the jab. Yeah, I think Ortiz, he's Cuban schooled, man, and you know he's got power as well. I think if he can roll back the years and bring out a performance like he did against Bryant Jennings, I think he stops Wilder. I actually think he does.
I think that's the problem, though.
Pretty convincingly, because he's a better boxer than Wilder. Period.
Jason, I've got a question for you. Yeah, who has Ortiz fought? That you name me 3 people that he's fought that you think, yeah, okay, like he's ready, or that justifies that, yeah, you think he can beat Wilder.
Bryant Jennings.
That heavyweight, I feel like technique is important, but you know it does take one punch. You know what I mean?
No, I get that. Okay, so I would agree. You know, his resume is a bit sketchy, but just from the eye test, I mean, against Bryant Jennings, he looks really good. I mean, the Malik Scott fight, I didn't. That was
to be fair. I can't even ask you 3 people because people might be ducking him. You know what I mean? So that might be the reason why he hasn't fought any big name.
Yeah, I think he's been ducked a lot, but I just think Ortiz, if you see how he boxes, you know, he's solid. He's Cuban schooled. You know, he can fight with different looks. He's got a nice crisp jab as well. He can add variation to his game. I think he's a really good boxer. I just think in his last couple of fights, it seems like he's lost motivation. But if he finds it again, which, you know, come on, WBC title fight against Wilder, I think he knocks him out. I think he rolls back the year, and I think he's going to give Wilder all sorts of trouble. I don't know what you guys think about that, but I just think this fight's tailor-made for him to win.
The thing is, with Wilder, I think Wilder's so.
Let me quickly check.
I think Wilder's about around 30, around 30, 31.
Yeah, he's 31.
I mean, the only thing that worries me for.
Wait, let me just say something with regards to that. With Wilder, yeah, he's unpredictable. He's very unpredictable. Like. Sometimes he may seem like he's losing. The one fight that I do rate him about was the Stavern fight. Yeah. And that's the one fight that I did rate him, and he went full 12 rounds with that. Do you get what I'm saying? But with regards to the fights that he's had recently, like he hasn't really had someone that could really push him to the edge. And I feel that what's his name? Ortiz will be a very good match. Now with Wilder, all he needs to do is give him that one punch and then flurry him. And then it's over.
Yeah,
that's it's going to be a difficult fight for him. Definitely, it's not going to be easy.
So who's everyone picking in that? Who are you picking, Edge?
I'm picking Wilder. What I was gonna say, the thing that I'm worried about, when you're a heavyweight and you're that big, one punch can end the fight. But when you're 38 and you're fighting someone who's younger than you and probably the most athletic heavyweight we've seen in years, someone who can move a lot, and if someone's going to bring out the best Deontay Wilder, it's going to be someone with experience, someone that Wilder is going to take seriously and go, you know what? I need to make sure it's like a Stevan, make sure my boxing skills are up to par, make sure I stick behind my jab. And when I see the opportunities, which he will get against a tiring Ortiz at some point in the fight, hit him with that right hand, hit him with that left hand. And I think, Ortiz will probably win the first 2-3 rounds. But the moment that, and that's all if it's a boxing match. If it gets into a brawl, I think Wilder will catch him and just knock him out. But that's how I look at it. And I'm looking at age as a big factor as well.
Yeah.
So what are we saying? So we want to see. Sorry, Emmanuel, to interrupt. So we want to see Wilder win this fight and then obviously unify with AJ next year.
Of course, we have to see that.
One
thing I will say though, I do think AJ is a better boxer now than Wilder. I think had they fought like last year, I would have gone with Wilder. I think if they do fight next year, I'll probably side with AJ and think AJ will win the fight, whether it's a unanimous or if someone just knocks someone out. I would go with probably AJ on that if they fought.
Yeah, I agree. I would probably side slightly with AJ, but I think it's one of those fights where whoever lands first wins.
Yeah, man's going out. Man's going to sleep. Man's having an early night.
And you look at Klitschko, right, in his last fight. Now, I thought Klitschko performed really, really well against AJ, but when Klitschko had the chance to get him out of there, it wasn't in his instinct.
Yeah.
If AJ was in front of Wilder tomorrow, he would have been out.
It was that round 6, no one will be talking about AJ no more. Wilder would have killed him, and no one will be, AJ would be a thing of the past now. Because Klitschko didn't have the instinct to kill him, to finish him off.
He was too patient.
I feel that.
Watch that fight in that round 6. I get so disappointed for Klitschko because you just know if this was like maybe a year or 2 earlier, it would have been a wrap. But just then and there, you can see it.
Even having said that,
it just wasn't there.
But even having said that, Chris, Klitschko has been fighting like that for years. He's been like, I'm just gonna pop behind my jab and just beat you by my boxing skills, and it's not in his natural instinct anyway. Throughout his entire career, and I think Wilder would have been like, I'm hitting you with my forearm. I don't care if I'm hitting you with my forearm. I'm roughing you up. I'm doing everything to get you out of there in that round 6. I'm not going 12 rounds. I'm not going 12 rounds.
I feel that.
Sorry, Emmanuel.
Yeah, I feel that. Wilder's not obviously he's not like Usain Bolt, but in that kind of aspect, where Usain Bolt was dominated for so long, so he wouldn't take races so seriously. But when the time comes, then he steps up his A game. Do you get what I'm saying? So I feel that AJ, they'll bring out the best in him, sort of thing, and take it seriously.
That's what I believe.
I was gonna say, remember that clip where Wilder beat Audley Harrison? How he got him out of there?
Oh yeah, that looked. I've only ever watched it once. That's how horrible. That's how I felt it from the screen, innit? That's how
I've never seen someone sleep so quick.
Audley can't take a punch anyway, but Wilder just went windmill on him. I think the referee got dragged into it.
Wait, which knockout was worse? Which knockout was worse?
You're gonna say that Canelo one, innit?
No, which one was worse? The Deontay Wilder against Audley Harrison or the David Haye against Audley Harrison?
Oh mate.
he got the snot punched out of him.
Do you know what I think what was upsetting about the Deontay Wilder knockout is that Deontay threw around 20 punches and about 2 of them hit him. The rest of them it was just missing, which
it was you know what, man, it was actually quite lucky that only 2 hit him, man, because there was some big bombs in there that would have taken his head off, man. Like it was just a mad one. But you know what, guys, I was actually conscious we in the kind of excitement of the conversation, we missed the the Box Nation card, the Billy Joe Saunders. Now, we had a little chat before we went on air about this. I mean, let's get straight to the main event. Let's not even dress this one up. Billy Joe against Willie Monroe Jr. I mean, obviously there was the antics pre-fight. Got to the fight. For me, that was one of the most dullest fights of 2017. A year where we've had some great action, some great fights. That was terrible. What the hell was Willie Monroe doing? I was saying to the guys, Willie Monroe lost me money yesterday, and that's why I'm extra angry at this guy, because he done absolutely.
I put a £10 on him winning as well, you know.
That's what I'm saying. Like, he lost me money because I thought, you know what? Maybe he's going to come into this match with extra motivation because obviously what happened in the weigh-in and, you know, at Peacock Gym. And then he comes in and basically stands still. And then Idris, you were saying that his trainer, I didn't even catch that bit. You were saying his trainer in the corner in, you know, round 7, round 8 said to him, oh, yeah, we need to pick things up now. Like they didn't say that at the beginning of the fight. It's just absolutely crazy. I mean, what's the thoughts on this fight, guys? I mean, do we ever want to see you?
Guys, wait, I'm gonna let you guys talk about it because I don't want to talk about this fight. It was a rubbish fight, and it was so one-sided and so rubbish. That's all I'm saying on it.
Yeah, I got Box Nation the other day, and I've actually got it for free, and I actually failed to ask for a refund, even though, you know, that's how, you know, that fight. No, all props to them, innit? Like, you know, they're fighting at that level, but Willie Monroe, you know, to be given opportunity to fight for a title, I feel like he could have, you know, he could have had a bit more hunger. You know what I mean? He was a lot on the back foot throughout the whole of the fight. I would have expected, if he's going to be on the back foot, at least on the last 2 rounds, you have to, you're going to have to try and go for a knockout, even though his knockout ratio is quite low. I think he's only knocked out maybe 6 people in 24 fights or something like that. But I don't know, I just didn't see that hunger in the last two rounds at least.
Do you know what it was though, Toby? Like, what disappointed me? Like, so before the fight, just to give the millions of viewers a bit of insight. So I was looking to make a bet. Obviously, I reached out to the group. Idris told me that, yeah, you know, Monroe's a decent fighter. You know, he had a decent performance against Triple G, and you know, he may be one to watch. So had a look at the odds, saw there was a bit of value on him winning on points. But you know what? When I saw the interview of him crying, now there's nothing wrong with a man showing a bit of emotion. But going into a world title fight, if I had seen that video of him crying before I put on the bet, I would never have put on the bet. When I see him crying, I turned around to my missus and said, this guy is not going to win anything tonight. Like, he was too emotional. He wasn't in the right frame of mind. And then he comes into the ring and he's doing some, what is that? Like, what was it, a dance? Was he miming? I don't know. Was he trying to do the shoulder roll? I don't know what he was doing. Like, it was a mess, man. It was a mess. Speaking about that fight is upsetting me so much. I'd like to move on to Saunders saying that he'd want the winner of obviously Canelo Triple G. What are your thoughts on that, guys? No, you know what, Idris?
That's not happening.
So hot off the press on that one. So Billy Joe said in the post-fight press conference that he wants to fight Amir Khan. And they asked him why, and he said, oh, because Amir Khan's come up to fight Canelo before. If he can make 160, we'll make it happen. Why not? He's a big name in British boxing. I can go down to 154. And I'm thinking to myself,
Eubank, why not? Eubank.
I want to see Billy Joe Saunders versus Amir Khan. Like, it's been 12 rounds of him versus Willie Monroe. And then we get another guy who's just like, pity-patty punches. No, I don't want to see that fight. I want to see Billy Joe. Why doesn't Billy Joe get in the ring with Danny Jacobs? That will be a good fight. Test yourself.
Okay. No. Why not give Eubank that rematch?
Yeah,
I would like to see that.
I want you, because I think that would be a very good fight, because they're both going to be trash talking. Obviously, Eubank's dad is going to probably take over the press conferences as usual. but we know that Eubank will be coming for Billy Joe. He'll be coming for that knockout.
Oh yeah, he'll be going for that knockout.
They don't like each other, and because Eubank has that one loss to Billy Joe, I think that fight would just be either Eubank will gas out because he's going to try so hard to knock him out, or Saunders just gets knocked out.
But one question,
it'll be a very good fight.
One question: would you say since that Billy Joe Eubank fight that Eubank's improved, and Billy Joe
Yes.
hasn't.
He's not been active. He hasn't been able to improve because he's just not been active. We don't know what he's doing behind the scenes. He blows up between fights. Eubank is always in shape. I think he destroys Billy Joe if they fight again. Obviously, I say that with a pinch of salt, but I think he stops him. Billy Joe hasn't shown me enough to say, yeah, this guy's, he's a world champion. He's improving fight to fight to fight. Every time I see
he has no L's though. He does no L's.
But I hear what you're saying, but apart from Eubank, really, who has he fought? Really, let's look at it and think it. Eubank just fought Arthur the other day, and Arthur used to be one of the best middleweights in the world, and Arthur didn't turn up to the press conference because his manager said, I didn't realize he was that good. Respect to Eubank, he was a lot better than I thought he was. He tried not to give Eubank that respect and did not turn up to the post-match fight press conference because he was ashamed. Eubank done that to him. Eubank done that to a vet.
Billy
to someone
Joe's
who's
opponent is Andy Lee when he won the title. But Andy Lee, I mean, I don't rate Andy Lee that highly. I mean, when he won the title, Andy Lee, he was on a bit of a run of knockouts, but he's not. I would say he's not an elite boxer. He's not. Would I even say world class? I would say he's fringe. So yeah, I agree. I mean, Billy Joe's career for me has just kind of stalled, man. And Eubank Jr. seems to have moved on to better things. On that card, we had two of the Frank Warren's prospects. His next cash cows. Anthony Yardman Yard and Daniel Triple D Dubois.
Stop it.
There's probably a lawsuit letter coming through the post for him. But what's the opinions on Anthony Yard out there?
Anthony Yard, he's got skills, man. I like it. I like what I see, man. He's definitely a prospect.
He's got swagger, man. He's got big.
What weight division is he? Cruiserweight?
No,
light heavy.
Light heavy. Yeah. No, he's good, man. He's agile. He's got power. He's quick. I like the look of him, man. He's definitely someone to look out for, 100%.
But one thing
He's very marketable as well.
And you might find this
spoken, right?
What's that?
Yeah,
as well.
Yeah, I mean, you might find this
the whole marketability of it all and everything.
You might find this a bit harsh, but I'm not that hot on Yardman Yard.
Why not?
No, I'll tell you why. I'm going to tell you why now. Right? So he's got the looks, he's got the swag. Do you know what I mean? He's got the muscles and that, but he hasn't had like a deep amateur career, which is fine. You know, some people are better professional boxers than they are amateurs, but look at the opponents that Frank Warren's fishing out. Like, Frank Warren has been given a ton of money from BT to build the platform, to build Box Nation. He's getting these guys from the Romanian jungle. Like, they need to get real opponents.
Does Romania have jungles? I didn't know that.
because some of these boxers, like the last tomato can, like the guy last night, right? So I was flicking over channels, like flicking between the Callum Smith fight and Yardman Yard. And as soon as I switched onto the fight, I said, where did they get this guy from? He looked awful. Like, and you just knew what was going to happen. And the thing about it is, I worry when Frank Warren has these prospects, and I don't want him to throw them in the deep end, but I want them to go through fights where they learn things. You know, you might get hit, you might not get off all your shots, you might be taken into the trenches, but at least you're learning. So then when you're stepped up to, like, you know, world-class, Euro level, world-class opposition, you've been through it already in your career. How's Anthony Yard going to react now? If they put him in there, and this is an extreme example, so don't take it seriously, but if they put him in there tomorrow with Sergey Kovalev, they wouldn't last 10 seconds.
Yeah, but with regards to that, come on now, like you have to build up the confidence in your fighter. So you're not just gonna shove him in the deep end. Do you get what I'm saying? So I've like, it's just like with the AJ career. He started off with, like, obviously your 9-to-5 men, and then now he's moved up. You get what I'm saying? So I think it's good to protect your athlete from the beginning, and then obviously you build him in gradually, and then obviously with the confidence, the fights will come, and that's what and with that, obviously the promoters, they get paid for obviously the fans who come watch. So the more he's winning fights, the more people are gonna want to see it. There's more demand.
I mean, the way I look at it, in the next 5-6 fights, within the next 5-6 fights, he's got to be fighting. If he keeps at this rate, he has to fight for a world title, and then we'll see.
But Idris,
World title, 5-6 fights though.
but that's what I'm saying, Idris. Yeah, he's
Ask yourself, when was it? When was AJ's first title defense? 15 fights.
16.
Before he fought for the world title. When he fought for the world title, he's only had 15 fights. Yards had 13.
But that's the thing, Idris.
Why not in the 5-6?
So Idris, he's had.
AJ was knocking out everybody that he fought though. By that stage.
He's got 12 knockouts, 1 decision in 13 fights.
But Idris, so he's 13 fights right now, yeah. Just say he has another 6 fights against these, Romanian jungle guys, dustbin.
You can't do that. You can't give him a Romanian jungle man. You've got to give him. The next level. The next fight has to be someone who's in the top. Let's say 20.
Give him some. Give him some fisherman from Thailand or something. But think about it. Think about him in his 20th fight. So just say 6 fights down the line, and they put him in with a Kovalev. How do you think that fight would go right now?
Yeah, but this is what I'm trying to say to you. Within the next fight, if you look at and I'm sure that me just saying that, I'm just saying it, so I don't have the statistics. So if someone could check it up, if you check all the world champions now, in the past, they all fight for the world title within their first 20 fights. I'm very confident of that. They all fight for the world title within the first 20 fights. Yards should be no different. So what I'm saying is, fight someone in the top 20, fight 2 or 3 people in the top 20, then fight maybe 1 person in the 1 or 2 people again in the top 10, maybe someone who's ranked number 10 or number 9, then maybe number 7, and then you try fight for the title. That's what I'm saying.
So do you think Yard, so I'm putting a question out there because you man sound quite high on Yard, and obviously, I've just got concerns over him. Do you man think that Yard can become world champion in that division right now when you've got the likes of Ward, Kovalev, Stevenson, and a few killers from each?
No, not right now. No.
Not right now.
It's a bit packed right now, isn't it? Like, maybe by the time they're probably not going to be boxing for that long, innit? Or by the time he does need to box them, they probably won't be at the level they are now. Do you know what I mean? Who knows? Like, a title might become vacant. Like, a title might become vacant, and then you fight some, like you say, Romanian jungle guy.
Yeah, I mean, and if you look at it if you look at it from the perspective of this, if Yard is fighting for what time the next 5-6 fights, the way these men are fighting, so the way a Ward is fighting, the way a Kovalev is fighting, these guys are fighting once, twice a year. 5-6 fights could be in 2-3 years' time for these guys.
True, and they might have moved on. But I don't know. Like with Yards, we don't even know if the guy can take a punch. Look at Amir Khan. Remember how they were building him up? Put him in bang, he's got a chip. First punch, rolling. Do you know what I mean? Like, how do we know Yard's not like that? Pure glass chin. Like we just don't know. So yeah, I like Yard, but I still think there's some questions there to be answered. What are we saying about Triple D, Daniel Dubois?
I'm impressed with his power still.
Right now, we need to take that name away, though.
Like Mike.
He's a bit borderline HR. Mike is here. You get me?
Mike, what are you saying, man? Give us your 2 pence on this.
I haven't heard you talk at all, bro.
I've been having some technical difficulties back here, man. Crazy. But I'm here now.
Yeah, good to have you here, man.
But,
let's give Mike a chance to speak. Mike, did you catch the Billy Joe Saunders card?
Nah, man, I definitely didn't watch that one. I was watching UFC last night. You know me, I'm more MMA in it. But the Billy Joe conference prior to the fight just turned me off for that fight, man. I was like, nah, this guy's a yob. I can't even stand him, honestly.
Well, okay.
He's a proper yob.
Okay, so we won't touch on that. Did you watch the Canelo GGG fight?
100%.
What were your thoughts on that? Because we've touched on it, but obviously you didn't.
You know what? I think that fight was hard to judge with the influence of others because there's so many different opinions on it. But then when you look at it properly, like about hitting someone and not getting hit, like Triple G was controlling the ring, he was cutting corners, controlling the angles, he was pushing the pace, the cardio was there. If I'm in the ring and I'm Canelo, I feel like I'm winning this because I'm hitting cleaner shots, I'm getting him on the counter, my uppercuts are coming through, and he's doing is pressuring me. But this is the thing about combat, like it's very, very hard to judge because judges, they look at it thinking, okay, you know what, Triple G's pressing the pace, he's in control, he's winning, you know. So I think going forward, like apart from this analysis, I think there needs to be ex-boxers and ex-champions actually being judges, someone who has like a proper boxing IQ, because it's tough to judge fights, man.
I agree.
You can't base it on angles and that kind of stuff. But for me, I think it was five rounds to Canelo, max. You know,
so
and the other rounds, give or take, man.
What did you say? 5 rounds to Canelo?
Yeah, 5 rounds.
Man.
So Mike, did you?
But you're saying that you're saying that
Mike, your eyes are open. Your eyes are open. You see.
No, but
you let the see.
You're in the sun place.
I'm sure he said the other rounds were split though. I'm sure he said that.
That's
like you can take give or take. He didn't give Triple G the other rounds, bro. You're not listening. He gave Canelo clean 5 rounds. Then he's saying the other rounds were hard to judge. So give or take whoever you want. He's giving Canelo the fight.
Don't force it, Idris.
Ask him. He's giving Canelo
the fight.
He's giving Canelo the fight. Ask him. He's giving Canelo the fight.
Don't force it. Mike's not your girlfriend. Don't force it.
Ask him.
Who did you have as a winner?
Mike?
What?
Who did you have as the winner, Mike?
Boy, I'm saying Triple G edged it. I wanted Canelo to win, in all honesty. But
Okay, fair enough.
Okay, so it's a split panel, but that brings us on next to our next.
That's
topic.
free, you know. That's free. We should all get in a cage and just settle it.
Sorry, boxing that. The next topic I wanted to cover, and it's basically off the back of the Canelo GGG fight, was judging in sport. I mean, Idris touched on it. That 118-110 card, that judge needs to be taken in the garden, fucking dug a grave and fucking put down like a horse. That was a fucking joke. Like, we don't want to see cards like that in boxing. Obviously, Canelo has a bit of history on this one. He's had some very favourable decisions, but I mean, what are they going to do to sort out this judging, man? Because it's getting a bit of an epidemic now. Especially...
But sorry to cut you off. Dana White from UFC always says it. Look, like it's one of the worst games to leave in the hands of the judges. Never leave your career in the hands of judges. Always try and finish the fight. And obviously, it's harder in boxing because not everyone has that power. Not everyone has that tendency to finish their opponent off.
But the thing is, in boxing, it's like a business, right? So Mayweather always got the decision because I think in Las Vegas, they knew he was a cash cow, right? Now that mantle's been passed on to Canelo, Canelo never seems to get a bad decision because he's the cash cow of boxing. And if he loses, it's bad for business. But we've seen it in the UK with Eddie Hearn, a lot of his shows. You know, some of these judging scorecards have just been ridiculous. Like there's been so many. Even in the AJ Klitschko fight, right? For me, Klitschko was winning that fight up until the round where he got knocked out. Yeah, when we heard about the scorecards, I think 2 of the judges had AJ up. 1 of the judges had Klitschko up by 1. So this is an epidemic that's global. Obviously, there's a lot of brown envelopes. I mean, what are they going to do to cut this out? It's bad, man. It's bad.
No, it's actually true, and the thing is, it's actually hurting the sport, man. At the end of the day, obviously, because at the end of the day, we're fans ourselves, and obviously we want there to be a fair fight. Yep. You know, we pay for what we want to see.
This isn't a new thing, is it?
No. But hear this. But listen. But this is the thing with human error. We're talking about maybe getting previous fighters to judge fights, but aren't fighters gonna make the same mistakes because they're gonna judge fights based on how they used to fight and how they see fights should be going? It's just human error. It doesn't matter who you get. I'm sure
that 18-10 wasn't a previous fight.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. I'm sure. But
Idris, do you think it was human error or human favor? Do you know what I mean? Because apparently,
it's the same thing.
Person,
it's
that
the same
judge,
thing. Overlap.
Apparently, they're heavily used by Golden Boy Promotions, innit? And apparently, when Calzaghe fought Bernard Hopkins, she favoured Bernard Hopkins in that fight as well, even though he clearly lost. You know what I mean? So that's a Golden Boy Promotions judge that is heavily used.
Yeah, no, but what I'm trying to say is because it's been happening for so many years. The point I'm trying to make in terms of human error and it being the same as human favour is the fact that if we were the judges last night,
Yeah.
we've already got a split decision. It's 3-3.
Yeah.
We got a draw last night. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah,
It's human error. So we're gonna be sitting there, and we're going to look for what we're looking for, because the three of you have said what you were looking for based on what you saw, and we said what we were looking for based on what we saw.
Yeah,
Do you
that's
understand
it.
what I'm saying? We're always going to have a situation where there's going to be this. I mean, the 118, 110, she clearly was just paid off. She weren't looking at the fight. She probably didn't even watch the fight. She probably didn't even watch the fight. She just went, yeah, Canelo, Triple G, Canelo.
Yeah, but look, the same thing happened against Zab Judah though when Floyd fought him. Like, there's no way Floyd won that fight for me. But obviously the bad.
What, the Zab Judah fight?
Yeah.
That fight, man.
Nah,
Yeah. Wait, hey, listen. I will say Zab Judah won the first 5 rounds. He won the first 5 rounds, but then he lost every round after that.
There
And
was
then
one Mayweather fight.
He was getting beaten so bad, he gave a low blow. That is how you know if a fighter's winning or not. That someone has to resort to dirty tactics.
There was
Ortiz.
one fight with Mayweather that was very, very controversial, and he had
The first Castillo fight. The first Castillo fight. The first Castillo fight.
Lost. I don't care. Floyd lost that fight.
Yeah, Floyd's record is 50-1. Is 49-1. That's his record, in my opinion.
That first fight.
50-0. Yeah, he lost to Castillo. Definitely lost to Castillo. I'll agree with that 100%. But again,
this is where money comes into it, like, because at the end of the day, who's it going to favor when the other guy wins? Like, there's no benefit to the sport. There's no benefit to the
That's what
See, when Floyd was going to do time a few years ago, they delayed his prison sentence so he can fight, so he can generate money for Vegas, like to the community. That's crazy.
100% agree. That's what I'm saying. It's a business. Whoever's the bigger draw, whoever's the bigger name in boxing, they normally get the decision. Like, basically, if you want to beat Canelo, and I think he won yesterday, but I'm saying if you want to beat Canelo, you need to knock him out, because you're not getting the decision in Vegas. No way.
I agree with you on that, Jason. I feel like they wanted a knockout, and if it wasn't a knockout for a fight of that level, then it will be a draw. And they can do it again, and they can generate more money.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
That's what they done.
And I feel like even back in the day, wasn't it like 15 rounds or something like that? And now it's 12 rounds. So if in theory, someone could give one person 6 rounds, another person another 6 rounds, and obviously you can have a draw in it. But if it was like a odd number, there would be no such thing as a draw, right?
But you know what? Yeah, this year though.
So if you got a draw, then you can make it happen again.
But this year, one thing I'd say is we've had a lot of draws in high-profile fights, and that's what concerns me. Like, we had Badu Jack against DeGale. That was a draw. I thought Jack won that fight. And then we had Ward Kovalev won. I thought Ward won that fight, the first fight.
They're just trying to set up Ward for that fight, man. They wanted the rematch from the get-go. But
that's what I'm saying. Like, you know what I don't like? It's like they think, okay, we've got 2 superstars, right? And it's a close fight, so we're gonna make it a draw so then they can milk a rematch. I don't like that. Like, give the winner his props and move on.
But then we're gonna have to we go back to the point. Boxing is a business, and what is that other fight gonna do? It's gonna generate more money, and that's what they need. Do you get what I'm saying? So, in essence, obviously the Triple G fans, we feel that the fight was won. Obviously, the Canelo fans think the fight was won by Canelo. It's a draw. What's that going to do? Now we're going to have a decision-making fight, because I don't think the next one's going to be.
But to be honest, I think Canelo wins the second fight easily, though.
Yeah, that's what we were saying earlier.
100%. Clean. Yeah. Easy work. Easy. And he'll be after that. He said, "I told you I won it," in his Mexican accent.
I think that will be easy, because GGG looks like he's lost a step already. And like,
man, he ain't lost no step, man. Trust me.
No. But the reason why the second fight would be easier is because I've just highlighted it. Triple G hasn't improved. He just does the same thing every time and time again. When he should have been making adjustments last night, he didn't. He should have. He should. No. He should have. He should have clocked Canelo a couple more times with that right hand. Canelo slipped out of his way, off the ropes, the same time and time again.
Yeah.
But you guys have to take other factors into consideration as well. Like, you know, he actually had a kid just the other day in it as well. Like, there's
Oh,
outside
who?
factors that could have affected his performance. Like, you know what I mean?
Who?
Yeah, he had a kid the other day. He actually missed the birth of
Jason,
his kid for this fight.
Okay, fair enough. Jason will attest to this. A lot of my friends will attest to this.
So
Is not having a kid maybe one of the greatest things and feelings in your life?
Yeah, of course, and I don't see how that could be a hindrance. Like, to me,
that should be even more than a motivation. That should be even more. That my child was born and I've just won the biggest fight of my career in the same week. Shouldn't that be a bigger
everyone's
inspiration?
different at the end of the day. Everyone's different, to be honest. You know what I mean?
I'm sorry that he lost his power on Fight Night. I'm sorry.
But
So
yeah,
we
like
covered the
so you guys saying that Canelo would win it the second time round, yeah? Are you saying it by points or by knockout or unanimous decision or what?
I'll go points again, but it'll be a clean one.
I don't think it'll be a knockout.
If it'll be points, then it's not a draw. They want to see the knockout at that level. They're not going to allow it to be.
It'll be 118-110, but 118-110, and one judge will do 116-112, but 118-110, 118-110, 116-112.
Hey, you never know. You never know. Triple G might have it in the bag, you know. You never know.
Maybe.
Triple G, what?
No, there's nothing else you can expect from him though. Like he gave Canelo his best shots yesterday. Canelo was like, right, is that it? All right, no problem.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
Shaking his head, nope, you didn't hurt me, nope.
Yeah. I was like,
Idris, would you say that Canelo has improved in the past year?
Yes.
So what technically?
Yeah, yes.
Yeah.
So why can't Triple G improve in the next year if they fight again?
Not just technically though. But
I'm just talking about technique right now. All right, but in terms of technique, why can't Triple G improve in a year's time if they fight again in a year's time?
Because
forget about his past and he hadn't improved for 4 years in his technique. I'm talking about now. Why can't he?
I'm trying to answer your question.
Huh?
He's 55.
I'm trying to answer your question.
All right, thank you.
Yeah,
you're thinking of an answer right now. That's it.
No, I'm trying to answer the question because you can't build a house if you've got no foundation. He hasn't got the foundation of making adjustments in fights. Clearly, he's not working on different things within training because every time we all watch him, not just me, we all watch him. We see the same thing. He knocks people at the same time every time. He can improve.
This is actually his first draw, so maybe he's going to think, wow, I need to step it up. Then he needs to go back to the drawing board.
But what happens when you go and fight you go and step into the biggest fight of your life again, and you're doing new things, and you're fighting someone who's doing what they do over and over? He's going to go back into his shell and just go to, let me just revert back to type because this is not working. I've worked on it. It hasn't worked.
But how can you say that? Because you've clearly said that Canelo's changed. Canelo's been fighting since
no. Wait, yeah, exactly.
And you said within a year he's changed. You said within a year in the last year.
You did say that. You said
wait. I said he's improved. You're the one who said technically. Jason agreed with you.
So what does improved mean?
Listen to what I'm saying. You're the ones who said technically. I said he's improved in ring smart.
Okay.
What he does tactically, how he makes adjustments within a fight. That's how he's improved. You can see.
My question to you was: has he improved technically in a space of a year? In the past year, has he improved? And you said your answer was yes.
I said
Idris, your answer was yes.
I said Jason said yes. This
is going to be replayed back, Idris, and you're going to listen to it.
But listen. I said he's improved with ring smarts. Jason said yes. Yeah, Jason, can you not say something? You said yes. I said he's improved in his intelligence. When he fought Mayweather, and me and Jason have spoken about this before, he's improved in his... When he fought Mayweather, I thought Mayweather was always going to win the fight, but I thought he'd do a bit more in the fight against Mayweather. Ever since that fight, it's like, okay, this is what Mayweather done to beat me. This is how Mayweather was able... He used that. He's probably watched the video a million times and he's improved in his ring craft. Whenever he got Mayweather on the ropes, Mayweather do 1 or 2 shots, get out of there. What did you see last night? Anytime Triple G had a sustained period of time with him on the ropes, he done a couple of ropes, done the same move, got out of there.
Roll down.
When he fought Lara, he was chasing Lara the whole fight, trying to do... I'm not trying to say he was trying to fight like Triple G, but he was trying to walk Lara down because Lara was being so elusive. And then he went, hold on a minute. If he don't throw punches and I don't throw punches, I'm the world champion. I win the fight. Eventually, when Lara slowed down, he won the second half of the fight. I do think Lara maybe just edged the fight overall, but I thought the way he adjusted and went, okay, I can't keep chasing this guy because he's hitting me and then running away. So I have to wait for him to slow down and then adjust my tactics, the way I swing the punches, where I'm hitting him with angles. That's where he's improved in the last year. Technically, the way you throw punches is never really going to change. These guys have been punching for so many years. They've got the muscle memory to just to throw a punch the right way. So from a technical standpoint, there's not going to be much improvement. It has to be ring awareness. It has to be tactical improvement. That's where Triple G has lost the step on Canelo because Canelo's far younger than him and Canelo's ahead of him in that stat. And that's the reason why I say in a year's time, being the younger man, or in 6 months' time, being the younger man, he's going to be a better fighter because he's improved. He's in his peak. He's not, Triple G is no longer in his peak. And he's been doing the same thing for so many years. Really, an old dog is not going to learn new tricks. I'm sorry.
Some of the guys on the feed are commenting, so maybe follow those topics on the side. They're talking about corruption in boxing and stuff, and Vlad and whatever. So I'm not sure if they're checking it out.
I ain't even been looking at the chat room. What they want to talk about corruption in boxing? Okay, I was just going to touch on just the Canelo piece quickly. I think Idris, you made some good points on GGG. I mean, he's not going to change. Like that's his fighting style. For me, though, I mean, I you know, what I see in GGG, I see quite a limited fighter, and I know people say, "Oh, that's absolutely crazy," but he wasn't able to make. For me, though, I mean, he wasn't able to make the adjustments necessary to either close the distance or land effectively on Canelo. He was looking all night, and I said this earlier, he was looking all night for that lead right hand, and all Canelo was doing was pivoting to his left, and he was out of there. Like he couldn't make the adjustments. He looked flat-footed. He wasn't moving his head. There wasn't real variation on his punches. Like no clean work. But for me, Canelo's a fighter who's proved he can fight on the front foot. He can fight on the back foot. He can give different looks. I think Idris has made a great point that looking at that Mayweather fight, if you look how Canelo's kind of taken on his career from there, he's got his Mexican heart and kind of flair, but he's got like a African-American slickness to his game now.
Nice. Yeah.
I agree with that. Like he puts his hands down and does all that.
Yeah, like he fights like an African-American fighter. It's crazy, but
the way he slips out of punches and the way he throw combination then moves. And it's kind of like, I just got hit like 4 or 5 times and now he's not there. Like that's how he does, that's how he fights. And that's what I thought was so good in last night. Do you know what I mean? Every time Triple G was chasing him around the ring, he'd already hit him 4 or 5 times and he was out of there. He said, see you later.
But the thing is, as I said before, I feel like Canelo, when he does his combination, he's stuck in the mud. Like you don't have angles, if that makes sense. So that's making him quite vulnerable. I don't think he does. If you look clearly, it's like he does his combinations on the spot. Check it out. No, Canelo. If you check Canelo, so I think that's something that Triple G should look out for in the future.
Yeah, but
if they do have a rematch.
One of the hardest things in boxing is, obviously you all know this, I'm assuming we've all boxed before, is throwing a punch as someone's throwing punches at you. Because the first thing you're trying to do is avoid the punch. So when someone's throwing combinations, you know, I think Pacquiao probably is the only person from my mind, and someone help me if I'm wrong, is the only person who throws combinations, but he's jumping all over the place like a rabbit. He's throwing combinations, but he's all over the place. Everyone, Mayweather does it. He throws combinations, but he's on the spot. Everyone does it, but it's Mayweather. The way, it's the slickness in way they do it when they throw combinations. Do you understand what I'm saying? And I think you're going to be pretty much in the spot when you throw a combination, because if you're jumping all over the place, throwing combinations, you're going to be always off balance. And then you leave yourself open to a counter.
But that's what makes people like Lomachenko great, because the way he does his combinations, he's coming at all angles. And Mayweather, not Mayweather, and Pacquiao. And that's the reason why it was so hard for people to hit them.
Yeah, but
and they came up with different angles.
With Pacquiao's jumping around like like a rabbit. When Lomachenko throws a combination, he will throw one punch, move, throw another punch, move, throw another punch, move. He's not necessarily moving. He throws one punch and move, but he's throwing them so fast and he's moving his feet so fast. It looks like he's moving over place when he's throwing the combination, but he's throwing one punch. I've watched Lomachenko.
He's throwing combinations. That's what he's doing.
No. But what I'm saying
is combination.
He's throwing it. Yeah, but he's throwing it so fast because every time he throws a punch, your foot's planted. You're not off. You're not in the air and throwing a punch. Do you understand? You are planted and throwing a punch. But because he's throwing so many punches so quickly, he's moving at different angles, but moving. He is throwing a combination, yes, but he's moving as he's doing it. Canelo is doing the same thing, but Canelo's saying, I'm standing in front of you and I'm throwing various different punches at you from different angles, but I'm standing in front of you. Lomachenko is going to move around you. Pacquiao's the best at it, though. I've never seen anyone jump like a rabbit and still be punching you so hard. It makes no sense. He truly is the Matrix. He is the Matrix.
But that's a flaw that I saw in Canelo. But I still, and I'll pull it down now that Canelo he's a great fighter. You know what I mean? He's proven time and time again, and I still feel that he's got more to bring to the table at the end of the day.
Definitely.
One topic I wanted to touch on, guys, is pound for pound, state of pound for pound at the moment. I know we've been going for like hour and a half now, so I don't want to go for too much longer.
Oh wow, it's been an hour and a half.
Yeah, it's been exciting, guys.
Minutes.
It's been exciting, guys.
Crazy, but first one. Obviously, we're gonna get better, but it's been good tonight. But I wanted to finish on pound for pound, obviously based on the amount of fights that we've had this year. Who's on top? Probably not your top 5 because that's gonna be like a long conversation, but who has everyone got on top of their pound for pound list and why?
Who's going first?
I'm not going first. I'm a spectator in this one.
Okay.
Jason, why did you say yours first, Jason? Because you
want me to
really
say
heard. Come on. Yeah.
So
I have a feeling me and Jason are going to say the same one.
Yeah. I have a feeling. so for me, it's 2 people really. But the one the kind of premier out of that, kind of duo for me is Andre Ward.
Okay, same as mine.
Yeah, I agree. I think Ward. I know Ward. People hate on his style. They say he's a dirty fight, etc. But look at the guy's resume. Like he's beaten everyone in and around his division. He took the risk, went up to light heavyweight. For me, won both fights against Kovalev, who was the crusher going into the fight, and basically neutralized him. Okay, he got knocked down, but neutralized him. But he schooled Carl Froch. He, beat Kessler, won that Super 6 tournament. For me, he's the clear standout number 1. A close second is Terence Crawford.
Same.
Terence Crawford is probably slightly ahead in terms of natural ability than Ward, because I think Ward is someone who's had to really work hard, but Terence Crawford doesn't have the resume yet. I mean, his best win, Terence Crawford, is probably Victor Postol or Gamboa, but I mean, if you look at it, you can't compare Terence Crawford's resume to Andre Ward. Andre Ward has beaten all-time, well, I wouldn't say all-time greats, but certainly future Hall of Famers and real world champions. Crawford hasn't got that depth of a resume. So for me, Andre Ward is number 1 at the moment. I've got Canelo quite high, but that's probably another conversation we'll have for another day. But he's definitely my number 1.
I don't think I have to say much more than what Jason said.
1 rather than top 5 because it's quite tough in this current age of boxing to 5.
Well, someone I was going to throw into there is someone we touched on very, very briefly earlier. Go on. I'll let you go. I'll let you finish.
What were you saying, Jesse? I was just saying your number 1 next.
Okay, well, what I was going to say was I agree with you with Andre Ward. He's been my number 1. Obviously, I like Errol Spence. Terence Crawford was my number 2. But someone we didn't touch on was Keith Thurman. I mean, him or Garcia had to lose their O. And I think what it is, Keith Thurman isn't as exciting as, Terence Crawford or Errol Spence. But right now, he's the number 1 at welterweight. But I respect Keith Thurman a lot, because when you hear him talk, he talks about I'll fight anyone, anytime, any place, and he backs it up. He does not duck a man. And I think the moment he's back from his injury, he's going to be fighting whoever, whenever. But yeah, Andre Ward for me, definitely number one, and then Terence Crawford a close second. But I'll put Errol Spence and Keith Thurman in the conversation after them two as well.
Emmanuel, what you saying, man? Who's your number one?
Triple G, he's aggressive.
Nah. Okay, so I'll say two people. Obviously Mayweather's out of the game, so I can't really say Mayweather. But I'm a big fan of Rigondeaux. Time and time again, he's always performing. I love his skills and how he
the Matrix.
Yeah, like literally. So it'll be good to see how he comes up against Lomachenko. Yeah. Second person, it's quite tough, man. It's quite tough. Say Dylan White. No, joking.
You might get a tweet for this. You might get a tweet from me later. Posting loads of memes.
Okay. I would say Andre Ward. Time and time again, he's performed. Even though people say he's a boring fighter, when look at, like Jason said, look at his resume. He's proven time and time again. Even that the fight that he had with Kovalev, it shows. I know he went back, studied the guy, and came back with a win convincingly. So I'll give that. Andre Ward.
Chris, Toby, what you saying, man? Who your number ones?
Man, it's already been said. Andre Ward.
Yeah, I agree. Spectating on this one.
Mike, what you saying?
Man, like on the technicality, I'd have to say Mayweather, but obviously he's out of the game. But just watching Mayweather for so many years. You know what? Like it took me quite a long time to try and understand, the dominance that Mayweather had compared to some of the icons that we used to look up to, like Tyson, Ali, this and that. Because his style for me was so boring. I was like, oh man, who's this shit guy? And obviously, as you get older and you mature and you understand boxing properly, you really start to respect his IQ, how he just dominates in the ring. And obviously, I began to get a lot of respect from him. But in terms of pound for pound for me, it's definitely Canelo. Because, as you said, he's got the heart of a Mexican, but at the same time, I think someone else touched on this a few months before that I was listening to. That silky style of a black fighter, bedded in America, but he has the heart of a Mexican. He's training with the best. He's got heart, he's got power, he's got skill. Like for me, like when you look at his record as well, like who's got Canelo's record in front of him? He's had about how many amateur fights?
I think he's had like 50 fights now, isn't he? 50, 51
now.
He's 51-1 or something like that.
And look how young he is. Like for me, he's gonna kill the game. The next 5 years, you watch how Canelo's gonna take it to the next phase. And as I said, the rematch with Triple G, it's going one way. Canelo's all the way.
Wait, can I say something, guys? I think I'm waiting for Eubank to step up. I'm 100%. Because Eubank was calling out Canelo and Triple G. I saw something last week after his fight was announced. He was saying, I'm not overlooking this guy I'm fighting, and then I've got George Groves. But then after that, Triple G or Canelo. Oh my, I would love to see that, man.
Honestly, I think Canelo knocks Chris Eubank into next Sunday. Honestly.
wait. The reason why I'm not going to say I'm going to buy into that, because Amir Khan, even though he lost to Canelo, I think I had him up a round against Canelo before Canelo just sparked him out.
But
understand? And I think Eubank has got a much better chin than Amir Khan, and he can go deep with Canelo. And obviously Canelo gasses out middle rounds. He gasses out, and if Eubank can keep himself on the gas and keep himself within the fight, I think that's a very good fight. Because remember, Eubank ain't backing up for no one. And he's got more skills than Triple G. He will find angles and he will throw that uppercut like there's no tomorrow. I honestly believe that would be a very good fight. I think
you made a good point that Canelo gasses out, but the same can be said about Chris Eubank, because I remember I saw him throwing some flurries one time and he gassed out, and I was literally worried for him.
Do me a favor right now. Do me a favor right now. Do me a favor right now. Yeah. Do me a favor right now. Go and check how many punches Eubank throws around. Go and do it now. He throws a crazy. Any man.
But that goes back to our point about Triple G and Canelo. Like, it's not about how many punches you throw. It's about how many actually land.
But he wins all these fights. So I'm not talking about what's it called, last night's fight in particular. I'm saying every time Eubank throws that many punches, he's landing with a ridiculous amount of punches, landing clean uppercuts, straight rights, jabs. He's landed hard power punches clean.
So would you say that means that maybe he doesn't, not that he doesn't have power, but if he's landing so many power punches and he's not knocking them out at that level, I don't think he's got great knockout power, but he's got enough power to stop you from committing yourself to getting landed fully flush. Do you understand? I think Canelo would be wary of just getting caught flush, and that it would be a very good boxing match. And I think in a year's time, Eubank could be ready for Canelo or Triple G. He's been calling out Triple G for like a year, 2 years. I do like Eubank's confidence in the ring. I do like his confidence in the ring.
And he throws punches. He lets his hands go. He's not passive whatsoever. Apart from the first 6 rounds,
he's not scared.
Apart from the first 6 rounds against Saunders, where he said himself, "Look, that was his first 12-round fight. I paced myself for the first 6 rounds because I was scared about gassing out." I've never seen him hold back. He throws punches. He says, "I'm not leaving it to the judges. I'm letting these hands go, and wherever we fall, we may fall." Do you know how many guys he stopped in their stall? Look at the man that was talking about he would, the man who kissed him in a press conference, and then the man who, and it was talking about his mum or something like that. And then he made man quit on the stool, and he said, man's eye was bloodshot. They were scared that man was going to go blind.
The guy you said about the guy who kissed him on the in the press conference, that's the guy I was talking about. When he fought him, I felt like there was a round where he got a bit excited and a bit carried away. Yeah. He started to throw loads of flurries and he gassed out. Yeah. And then he done something where he wasn't even protecting himself and he was kind of putting his head down. And the guy was, if the guy had power, like proper power, the other guy, that he couldn't do that with Canelo basically at this stage, innit?
But then that's why we want to see these fights, because we want to see what are their adjustments going to be when they know, okay, I'm fighting a killer. What do I do differently? This is what I was disappointed with Triple G about. Because I said it to you. How many times have I said it today? I knew exactly how that fight was going to go last night. Why didn't Triple G come with something different for me to go, oh my God, okay, he's doing this. Like, what's Canelo now going to do?
Okay, Oracle.
There was nothing, what's it called, magical about my prediction. It was very predictable. Anyone who's been watching Triple G would know, okay, this is exactly how Triple G is going to fight. This is exactly Canelo knew.
He's been knocking out his last fight, he hasn't, basically, all his fights have ended in a knockout since 2008 when he fought a guy called Amar. There was one, the retired ones, I class those as a knockout. If the person, retired in the corner, I class that as knockout. That's almost 10 years. Yeah. He's been knocking out guys. So for him, he's probably looking at Canelo that, well, he's probably of a certain level, but he probably thinks he's of a certain level as well and that he can knock him out. So if they fight again, he'll probably approach it a little bit more differently. Do you get what I mean? Because now he sees that, the 10 years of doing what he's doing has been working, but it didn't work on this occasion for this guy. So he might have to switch up.
But now I'll go back to what your brother said earlier about respecting Canelo. He obviously did not respect him then, because he would have made adjustments in his training camp for Canelo, saying, okay, this guy's good. I need to make adjustments to be better. Because at the end of the day,
but why fix something?
Because it's been broken. This is the problem. This is the illusion Triple G has given you. And me and Jason have touched on it. He's a limited fighter. He gets tagged a lot. But he's so durable. He's so durable, and he can withstand punishment. And no one can withstand what he's given.
You know what made me so confident about this Canelo fight is after watching the Kell Brook fight again, I was like, there's no way Triple G is going to survive this. Especially if they have a rematch, because he takes too many shots. And
exactly.
Yesterday, Canelo's grown in confidence to know now, okay, like I can actually take this guy's shots. and I can tag him when I want. So he's actually going to come and try and finish the fight when they have the rematch. That's what I'm hoping for, because that's the only way you're going to beat Triple G. Just stand in front of him and go for it. Like, you know, he takes...
And that's what I'm saying. So Toby, when you're talking about the last 10 years, none of his, you know, why is it broken, why fix it, or in the last 10 years he's been knocking guys out.
I'm saying now he's got a reason to fix it, because in the past 10 years, all his
but now,
been a KO.
But remember, what is he going to change technically? I don't think he can change technically. It's got to be a tactical change. It's got to
so
be,
his boxing brain, he can adjust his boxing brain, right? Like
how much is a 36-year-old going to change his brain in the next 6 months? Because they will fight.
Ask Ali when he fought Roman. Ask Ali when
Canelo though.
How much can someone change when in the 30s?
Hold on. Ali was doing rope-a-dope a lot. A lot of people is because George Foreman fight was highlighted, but he done rope-a-dope a lot throughout his career. He done it a lot throughout his career, but it was highlighted against George Foreman because he was expected to lose, and he just let George Foreman punch himself out. Do you know what I mean? Ali always had ring smarts, but he always had 5-6 different ways of winning a fight. Ali, he had knockout power.
And he changed it in that fight, and he was in his 30s, right?
Would you say it was knockout power?
Yeah. He adjusted for that fight, but he already had that skill set within his armory. It's not like he came in there and done something that no one's ever seen Ali do before. He went and done something he's done before, but for this particular fight, he said, "This is what I'm going to do." He made a tactical adjustment. What I'm trying to say is Triple G is an aggressive fighter. He knocks man out. He gets you in a corner, he gets you in the rope, and he knocks you out. He's not gonna stand back and not come forward against Canelo, because if he does that, he's losing the boxing match. He's losing the boxing match. What is he really going to change unless he gets a flush punch on Canelo? What is he really going to change now in the next 6 months? Because he can say, "I'm not going to come forward as much. I'm going to try boxing much." You're an idiot. You're going to lose a boxing match. So you have to come forward. You're right.
What I will say to you, what is Canelo going to change in the next 6 months? In his approach to fighting Triple G.
All he has to do is stay in the ring, in the center of the ring more. If he does that for 6-7 rounds against Triple G in the rematch, he can win on points unanimously. Easy fight, easy night fight. Because he'll win. Go on.
No, I get what you're saying, yeah. But we all agreed that Triple G had the better stamina. He was more conditioned, right? Right.
I wouldn't say that.
So
I agree.
Okay, but on both of them, who would you say displayed the better endurance or the better stamina throughout the course of the fight?
No, but you know what?
The reason why that's an illusion, and I know you're probably about to say it, Mike, but the reason why I feel that's an illusion is that when he was coming forward, he was throwing a lot of nothing punches that were hitting his.
No, they weren't effective. Is then he was hitting there and he was hitting gloves and stuff.
Yeah, he wasn't. So why throw punches? Exactly. Why throw a lot of punches like that if they're not going to do anything? And Canelo's like, I'm not just going to throw willy-nilly punches. I'm not going to just do that. And I think Canelo genuinely thought, and I'm not in his head, so I might be wrong, but I think he thought he was winning on the cards quite comfortably, that he thought, I can take a few rounds out. Now, on the flip side, I do feel he was a bit gassed out as well.
Yeah, he had compared to Triple G, right?
No, because I think Triple G, his instinct is just to come forward. Look at what's it called? Hitman against Hatton against Mayweather. He got hit so many times. Don't come forward. All he did was come forward. That was the last thing you should have been doing. It was just instinct. His instinct, I'm tired. I'm going to keep coming forward. Your brain just goes into autopilot. This is all I do, so I'm going to keep doing it. If he had his senses, he would be like, hold on, I keep coming forward. I'm a bit tired and I'm not really doing anything. Let me sit back and let this guy come onto me. But I think he just went into instinct. So it's an illusion that you're thinking, oh, Triple G was the aggressor and had more in the tank. He just went into auto. He just done what he does. He's been doing it for 10 years. Why change? I'm just going to keep doing it. This is all I do.
So we agreed that he appeared to have the better conditioning. Not physically.
You can
700. He threw over 700 punches, yeah? Canelo threw 400, 500 punches.
500.
You agreed that Canelo seemed more gassed out, right? He selected his punches, but he seemed more gassed out on those selective punches, right?
I wouldn't say. I think when he threw punches,
Idris, just agree.
No, because I don't know. When Canelo actually threw punches, he looked like he was committed to those punches. He didn't look like, oh, I'm tired, I'm just throwing these punches just to keep him off me. It just looked like when he sat on the ropes and took Triple G's punches. He was like, I'm taking a breather now. You throw your punches at me that aren't gonna land. That's how it looked. That's
Just why is he taking a breather? Because he's tired, right?
Yeah, we're both tired. But yeah, for argument's sake, let me say Canelo had not as good a conditioning as Triple G, for argument's sake.
Yeah.
Right, that was a deep one. So yeah, we've come to the end of our first episode. It's been good. I think we're gonna
guys.
It actually was a fun one. I love this, man.
No, that was good, and I think we're gonna next week we'll go from 1 million viewers to 2 million. We're gonna grow.
Yeah,
big parts.
Definitely.
It was good, and obviously we covered a lot on the kind of Canelo GGG stuff. Just gonna throw it open if anyone wants to talk about any more topics, anything that we've missed. Is there anything else, or we've pretty much covered everything?
Wait, what did we have? What else did we have on topics? What else did we have on a topic?
I think
we had
we covered the Billy Joe card. We covered Canelo GGG.
Ortiz.
We talked briefly about Rigo Loma. We should probably cover that in another video, because that's going to be a deep discussion, because that's two Jedi Knights going at each other. So,
bro, that's Matrix, man.
Yeah,
that's when Morpheus just introduced Neo, man. Two men in the Matrix.
I think we pretty much covered everything in our first.
Yeah.
Just for those viewers listening, and anybody who's going to listen back to this later, the plan is for the podcast to go once a month. We might move to once every 2 weeks, see how we go, see how popular we are, see if we're liked out there. But yeah, that's the plan. Hope everyone has enjoyed the podcast today. Please subscribe to the channel. Please follow me on Twitter, follow the channel on Twitter, just support the cause. Just tune in. Obviously, we're going to give you banter, we're going to give you discussions and opinions, and we're not going to be too stiff. I think the guys, are you guys going to set up Twitter pages, or are you going to keep it low-key?
I'm going to keep myself low-key. Yeah. I've got an Instagram. I could put stuff on Instagram and get people to try.
Yeah, we can share that. But yeah, so cool. We're done. So yeah, thanks everyone for tuning in. Thanks to the pod members. It was good. It was a pleasure. And yeah, stay tuned for the next one.
Nice
one, guys.
See you later.
Nice one, guys.
All right, take care.
Later.
All right.